One of the biggest reasons husbands argue with their wife is because sometimes we think they're not speaking logically. Man, I've learned that lesson. A lot of time I come to my wife with maybe a decision I want to make or maybe a problem that I have, and here's the solution. And they say, well, I don't think that's going to work, or man, I'm not feeling good about that direction. And then it turns into a fight because I'm like trying to explain to them, hey, this is why, here's all the reasons why it's good, here's the negative, and I think there's more positive. And it just turns to this, and it's because sometimes we feel like, man, you're just not making any sense and you're not very logical in what you're saying. But we need to stop belittling our wives and stop speaking down as if they have no freaking clue what they're talking about, right? It's like, I had to learn the lesson, man. Sometimes it's not logical. Sometimes it's just a gut feeling and they don't feel right about it. I'm telling you what, the times where I tried to interject what I wanted to do and my wife was not in agreement and we did not have peace about it, I have learned some hard lessons, lost a lot of money, a lot of pain, a lot of scars from not listening to my wife, even when it didn't sound logical. God gave you a helper for a reason. And so we need to start listening to them. Stop thinking just because they don't make logical sense doesn't mean they're wrong, right? Because there's things that they're saying that they make logical sense and we get it wrong. And so it's not that they're not as smart as you. It's just that they probably don't understand what you're doing, but because they're in tune with God, they're in tune with the Spirit, they just feel like, man, Daniel, I don't feel like we should do that, and I can't explain why. I can't articulate the words to explain to you on why I think that's a bad idea, why that business deal doesn't seem right, why that direction we should go should not be the direction we should go. I'm not saying they're 100% right, but I'm telling you what, my wife is right more than she's wrong in a lot of decisions that we make. And weighing those heavy, hard decisions with your spouse or your wife is so important so that you can at least get her feedback. And if she doesn't agree, then pray to God and say, God, if this is you, then move the heart of my wife. Show her and let us have peace about this decision. I have done that, and there's times where it's a no now or I don't feel right, and I really feel like the Lord's on it, and I just say, Lord, you have to speak to her. And God then speaks to her, and she comes to me maybe months later or weeks later and say, you know what, I was thinking about that the other time. I was in prayer time, I was reading the scripture or whatever it is, and I think we should do that. We have to partner with God. Let's not bulldoze our decision. Oh, we're the head of the house and what I say goes. That is not the way we need to execute our power or our strength or whatever you think you have. We have to submit to each other, right? It's not just wives submit to you, but we submit to each other. And so be the leader of your house, but also realize that your wife has a voice that sometimes it may not make sense, and that's okay as long as you're praying to God and you're asking the Lord to help you guys go the right direction. God will give you peace. Now that I understand the direction and the goals that we're going, it's easy for me to present things to her and we align and we definitely say yes or no, and we both have peace about those answers because we communicate. We are in line with our goals. When you're not in line with your goals, it's going to be a rocky marriage. And so stop thinking your wife is not smart enough because she can't explain her feelings. Sometimes it is the Lord speaking through your wife, and if you don't listen, you're going to learn a hard lesson. Set goals, unite around them, and anytime you don't agree, bring it to the Lord and see if the Lord can give you peace in the decision that you both have made.